We back with the next installment, and like I said before, you got a lot of criminals in your book, and one of the problems that a lot of people have in this so-called, Black Power movement is that you give people a pass, number one, just because they look like you. And this is exactly why the noun ball that was written by the real Amanu Rakata, which is Afro Unum at the time, said you have to exist like a son because these organizations is only going to be what you see with all these different cult groups. It ain't just black Ethiopian people, it's of all type of races. And when you start looking at these people grouped up together, you see that they all have a lot of things in common. And yeah, I'm gonna go through these lists person by person, because something is wrong with you when you sitting here and you throwing all these people together and calling them dynamic teachers. These are dynamic criminals. And we've been saying this over and over and over. And the sad part is, the negative forces of nature, keep propping y'all up. And y'all keep glorifying these individuals. And people like myself who've been around don't even have to go that deep to pull up things like, yo, you got to be kidding me. This is not about trying to look for every nook and cranny that these individuals have done. That's not even the point. That's not even what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to show you and show the people that, especially the Sabians, y'all really need to really look at this. This dude is insane with some of the people he done logged in here as supposed to be great people, doing great service. No, they doing great disservice and servicing themselves. And I don't say nothing I can't prove. So the whole thing is I'm dealing with primary sources. Unlike Taharqa being over there in Nigeria, being a scam and hiding his face, he don't realize it don't matter about you hiding your face. Your name and everything else is connected to this. And wherever that money going that when you put out these false books, which is pretty much garbage. And I'm going to keep saying that because it's facts. Not saying it because I'm trying to be funny, because there's nothing funny about a whole bunch of new generation carrying on the same negative mind state to take advantage of the crabs in the barrel. Because this is what we got. So this person here is King Noble, and you probably don't even know because you don't do no research. King Noble started out as a self-appointed cult leader and guru in upstate East Coast. I think he was somewhere, Chicago. I think he started out. And he had this spot. I don't know how many spots he had, but at the time when I became aware of him, he had a lot of women coming around, living in a big crib. They was coming from all over the place, and he was knocking them up, and they was getting on welfare. The same thing that York was doing, having a lot of women in the Ansar days and Ford would go get on welfare and get the benefits and taking the benefits and doing all type of things with it. All right, so these are facts. These are things that all of the people who left said, and even people who continued on with York, Chuck and the rest of them can verify that these women was doing that. And King Noble was following the same program. And, he was a cult leader, and I think one of the things was, he was donating and talking about black, the Caucasian society and being black and all these different things. And what got him in trouble, because I remember when I brought this up when I was talking to Melanin Sutek. She had a follower of King Noble on her show, because he went down to Atlanta. And the thing was, he had got out of Dodge because it was one guy I remember, right? It was another guy that exposed him too, but it was one guy, he took some female that was from Canada. She left her man, took her child or children, and he went to stay with King Noble. And that man was all on the internet crying because he wanted to see his child. He couldn't see his child or children. And he had called the FBI and all of that, and she was hiding out there with him and wouldn't let him see his kid. And this thing was big. And I know they came there and everything, and eventually he had to get up out of Dodge. And I know it was another guy that went there talking about he wanted to interview him and talk to him, and how he was saying that the dude wasn't bathing and he just was, wearing black fingernail polish and wearing black, and his, his hair wasn't kept up. It was just a whole lot of foolishness. But this is the mentality that a lot of these people that are running around what they call in the conscious community in the matrix on the internet, most of these people are mentally delusioned. And because of that mentally delusion is because, the negative is very powerful at this point in time. And so what they do is they dress the part. They look like they're okay. When you look at them, they, from one standpoint, you can look at them and say, okay, yeah. They wearing the costumes, they wearing the headgear, they wearing the regalia, they wearing the jewelry, and they have these names, but the nature is what you're supposed to see. The mentality, the type of spirit, what's the word I'm looking for? The psyche of these individuals. All right, so we're just gonna go down the line, and we're gonna see exactly why would you even promote King Noble as a dynamic teacher or some great teacher. You have to look at past what people say. You got a lot of evil people that know how to say the right things, but that's the cover and the balancement of existence. The negative are in power, and they have access to positive things that will bring a person in, and they will be snatched up and caught up, and some people never make it out. So what we're going to do is look into Mr. Noble, and let's see if what you put in your book made any sense to those who see this video. True me to call in peace and wartime.
Supremacy. With this particular video, I want to talk about the significance of praying to King Noble Black Supremacy. I want to talk about the significance of praying to King Noble Black Supremacy as your true and living God. Now, a lot of times people are going to be like, I'm not praying to no man. King Noble Black Supremacy is just a man. So when you acknowledge King Noble as a true and living God, and you begin to pray to King Noble when you see a black man. So when you can start praying to King Noble Black Supremacy, you're breaking the programming and you're seeing something more than what they tried to limit you to see. I want to give you a prayer to pray, the Lord's Prayer to King Noble Black Supremacy. I pray that I can look at you, O Supreme Black Lord, King Noble Black Supremacy, and that I can see the glimpse of the eternal divine reality as it pierces at me. I pray that I am not distracted by the illusions of this mundane reality and the lower vibrational perceptions that has trapped the souls of eternal beings in what we are calling mankind. Kind of a man, but more of a program, more of a robot, more of a artificial unintelligence. I pray that I can stay focused and centered on seeing the divine black reality. I pray that I can open and expand my consciousness beyond the limitations of this the material illusions that are propagated and promoted and pushed perpetually on this plane. I pray that I move from a space of divine black power and rulership and nobility and confidence. I pray that I have loyalty to the divine black truth of the black dominant, black perfected reality that is the nature and essence of the universe. I pray that your words, King Noble Black Supremacy, become my thoughts. I pray that your words are my thoughts, and I align my consciousness with the reality of the supreme, divine, and black existence. I pray, O King Noble Black Supremacy, that this return of God that is you will bring finality to the solidification of the divine black consciousness of the black race and all who partake of the eternal truths of which you represent.
Peace. This is King Noble Black Supremacy, and I want to do this particular video with dealing with how a rapist is a semi-revolutionary against capitalism and against Western white supremacy Christian fundamentalism. You're against global oppression. You're against these so-called 1%, these bankers, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, whoever. You're against them, but you in your own mind say that the only right way to go about getting something is to buy it, is to pay for it, is to get a job, work 9 to 5, like every righteous Protestant, good Samaritan person in society. Your rapist is not going through any of those manners, particularly your black rapist. I don't want to deal with any other nationality, so let me even further clarify the video. Your black rapist must be saying that I don't want to take this sister out to a nice restaurant, spend money on her. I don't want to buy her no drinks, take her to the club. I don't want to have all the status symbols, the vehicle, the materialisms. I don't want to have all these things that it takes to get a woman. I don't want to bow down to my oppressor in order to have a woman. The black woman belongs to the black man by species. Just like every species, they must be able to reproduce themselves. They must be able to copulate or procreate with their own kind to continue their own species. It's a part of survival and being able to survive. So this rapist is saying, well, look, I'm not going to bow down. I'm not going to no hoe and pay for no hoe to sleep with. I'm not going to join any of these groups or cliques that's going to guarantee me to get some pussy. I'm not going to join the Deltas or the Masons or the Kappas or any of these fraternities. I'm not going to join the motorcycle cliques, motorcycle clubs that are based on materialism, based on getting money, that's going to ensure that I'm going to have status in society to get a woman. I'm not going to use my education or my degrees. I'm not going to depend on all that. I want some pussy right now. Now, in his own mind, the rapist is not thinking that this is a revolutionary act, of course. He's probably just totally in the moment. He sees something that he wants, and he's willing to go for it. So I'm not saying that he's thinking like a revolutionary, even though he's using a war tactic in order to secure something that he feels is needed and necessary for himself. He's using somewhat of a military strategy by calculating and being very calculative in his methods, and somewhat hunting and being kind of military. This is very military. But he's not thinking that this is a revolutionary act against capitalism. Don't get me wrong. He's just thinking on a very primitive level of existence. Very primitive, of just really wanting to have sex. But primitive takes you back to primate. Primate takes you back to your species. Species takes you back to your natural reality, your nature, your natural cohabitation and natural procreation. So as real as you can get is primitive, and as fake as you can get is actually colonial. It's artificial, where you are totally unaware of your primitive nature, primitive needs, or primitive desires, and you actually believe you are something other than your own species type that's validated by materialism, consumerism, or being accepted by your enemy and by a whole race of people that were created to prey upon you. But I don't want to digress. So this rapist is, of course, not thinking as I'm a revolutionary, I'm going to go out and rape this woman. I'm not saying at all, but I'm saying most of these people talk about they're against capitalism, they're against the system, but they still want the status symbols, they still believe in the materialism, they still believe in the social standards of living in a capitalistic, materialistic society. They still believe in bartering and exchanging time, labor, energy, and resources in a rightful capitalistic way. Your rapist is like, hell no. I have a right to be with this woman. I want it. I'm going to take it. It's mine. She belongs to me. Fuck the white man. I'm not going to go kiss no white man's ass. I'm not going to go pretend and smile in this woman's face and pretend like it's not about sex and that I got the stamp of approval from my slave master in order to sleep with you. I'm going to take it right now by any means necessary. What am I saying? I'm saying that your average black rapist is by default one of the most revolutionary roles and careers that you can have in this society. Not only is it revolutionary against capitalism, it's also revolution against Christian fundamentalism, which supports capitalism. Anything that says you have to work to the till of your brow for whatever you desire, that you got to work hard to get what you want is a concept that supports capitalistic exploitation. It's saying that our society should not do anything for us, or we don't have anything coming as a divine right, or we don't just have, we don't inherit, we're not heirs to anything purely by coming into birth. That if we want something, we must work for it, and if you have to work for it, then you have to work for whoever's giving out the jobs, and whoever's giving out the job control the industry and the manufacturing, the import and export, and world trade. So Christianity is going to lead you right up into oppression. It's going to lead you right into your slave masters. And as long as you accept Christianity and Christian fundamentalism, then it's going to be right for you to continue to be enslaved, because it's the only right thing to do, to continue to work and be under your slave master. But the rapist is saying, I ain't working. My only job is going to be getting what is mine primitively. It's getting what is mine naturally. It's going for what I want and what I desire right now. I'm not working. I'm not dealing with no Christianity. I got into a debate with a sister when I said this, that the black rapist is a default revolutionary. Because she said, well, just because he sleeps with the woman doesn't mean she's going to be his wife, and they're going to get married and she's going to cook a meal for him. And the point that I'm saying is that all those things are secular. It's the primitive aspect of the sexual interaction that's even more important than those other things. And what we got to realize too is that our women is under this cracker, is under this white man. So he's got our woman. In order to get our woman and get back to our woman, we got to go through him. We got to go through his society. We got to go through his institutionalization. Like I said earlier in the video, we need his stamp of approval in order to get our woman back. And if we not coming in a way that we have master stamp on us, then we are not interesting to our women. If we don't look like the top of the line house nigga, whether it's an NBA or whether it's his rap bitch, his white man whole rapper, which I have to quote Aisha Segment on that, the white man's bitch. These rappers are nothing but the white man's bitch. These preachers are nothing but the white man's bitch. So you got to go and look up Aisha Segment, the song White Man's Bitch. And you'll see when you look that up that if you're not the white man's bitch, the average black woman is not going to find you interesting. The more the white man's bitch you are and have the status symbols to show that you're a white man's bitch, the more interesting and attractive you will be in her eyes, because it's about money to her, and her oppressor is printing the money, and the money has his face on it. So the more that money you got, shit, the more interesting, important, or significant you are. So the revolutionary is going to be like, fuck him and his system. Fuck the system of oppression. Fuck capitalism. And goddamn it, you still my woman, because by nature you're my woman. You're of the same species. I must procreate. My survival is important. So I'm going to take it. A lot of times we think about taking it. We just think about taking it from the white man, not realizing that we have some obligation to our own people to do and to support our own race and our own species. And many of our people on the most natural level are not going to wait for us to realize that. That's why you have a lot of thieves and people taking stuff, because we don't have the humanitarian service that we should have for our own people. We act like our race is not even ours, and we don't owe our own people anything. And we do more for the white man, 9 to 5, under the auspices of capitalism, than we're willing to do and help and to assist our own people. So they end up robbing and stealing from us because we lack humanitarian service to hand out some sandwiches or do something to uplift and benefit our own race. We're supposed to do this. So the rapist is saying, you know, I'm going to take what's mine. The thief is saying, I'm going to take it. If you're not going to give it, and you're going to have a Willie Lynch chip and be a black devil and not choose to help out your own people, and think you don't have no obligation to your own people, I'm just going to take it from you. That's what the same thing that the rapist is saying. I'm not going to play with capitalism, play under capitalism. I'm going to be a revolutionary. People talk about revolution. They think it's going to be a revolution without rape, that it's going to be a revolution without taking something. That if you are totally polarized black devil, you don't want revolution. Because if you had a revolution, the black devils is going to suffer for the position that they played with capitalism and with the white man. They're going to suffer. Because if we attack his empire, and if we take what's ours from him, if you're a part of that society, you're getting swept up in the mix. You're getting swept up in it. There's no escape. If we go against white supremacy, capitalism, Christian fundamentalism, Eurocentric imperialism, if we really go against that totally head on right now, if we really stir that up, a lot of black devils will be under attack and will be hit by that, and they will not understand what the fuck is going on. They'll think, hey, I'm just a good person. Why me? What did I do wrong? I'm not white. I'm not. But you are polarized towards white supremacy. Your whole life, existence, way of life, and culture and mindset and the way you think supports white supremacy. It supports the institution, the system, the matrix. So if we go at the matrix, it's going to rip a hole in your ass too. So, i.e. rip a hole in your ass, i.e. rape. So in this society, we find people that are raping. They saying, I'm not going to go through the white man to get my woman back. I'm going to get my own goddamn woman. Because she's mine. She belongs to me. She belongs to our species. She's what I need to procreate. I'm not in it. And some black men are so tough. They're not going to do all the talking, and they're not going to come with all the charisma and the charm. They waking up to take what is theirs. To take what is theirs. And some of them are not going to settle for no white bitch. You know? They want their own woman. And goddamn it, they don't want to hear no shit. They going to step up to the plate to be and have their own woman. So, rape is a revolutionary act against society, white supremacist society, against capitalism. You can overthrow the system. It's a way of overthrowing the system of thinking, the mentality. It's an attack. It's a protest against our woman selling out and being totally bought. And then we got to go to massa in order to get our woman. Our woman is better than us. If we ain't making 100 racks a year, we're not even significant. If we don't go and beat our brother over the head and rip him off to get his money to give it to her, we're not valuable. The rapist ain't gonna go and beat his brother over the head in order to bring some money back to his woman, to be the largest consumer, to give it back to the white man. The rapist ain't gonna go and sell drugs to his own people. The rapist he's just gonna go and take what is his, which is his woman. I know a lot of people gonna be offended by what I'm saying here, and it's really gonna bother them. But it's the truth. I'm giving you true revolutionary thought. Many of you don't want to see a revolution. You just want reform. You just want a nice, peaceful America where, you know, you just got a few more things than you had before. Where, you know, you just got more jobs and things are just a little better. You don't really want no all-out revolution. Because if it was an all-out revolution, you would see the reality of the stuff that I'm saying. You'll see what I'm telling you right now. That rape is a revolutionary act by default. Stealing the redistribution of wealth is a revolutionary act. And even if I start talking about objectification, we talk about the objectification of the woman. The highest and ultimate product and prize that the man could receive as a reward for everything that he's doing materialistically and socially is the black woman, is the womb of the black woman. That's why you see naked women dancing in the video, men wanting to go to the strip clubs, throw all their money towards women, men that believe what makes them a man is the women that they're with and the pussy that they're getting. Society has objectified the womb of the black woman and objectified the black woman and then sold her back to us. So now we buy our woman back from the white man. We buy her back by buying what she wants from the white man in order to keep her. We buy her back by showing that we are the white man's lapdogs and that we are under him. This is how we're buying our woman back. So the ultimate product is the womb. Is the pussy. For many of these brothers out here, that's the ultimate product. That's why in their raps they talking about, with all the success I get, all I can show for it is that I'm getting the best pussy. I got the best ride and the best clothes and the best house, so I can get the best pussy. So how are we gonna have a revolution? The ultimate product is gonna have to be free. It's gonna have to be liberated. When we talk about revolution, we talking about liberation. The rapist is liberating pussy. I know it's going to hurt some people. This is a very transcendental concept. The revolutionary is liberating the pussy. One day, the black man was being exploited just to be with his woman, to see with his woman, to sleep with his woman, to get the attention of his woman. He's exploited by clothing designers, Gucci, car makers, all this. And the next day, the day after the revolution, post-revolution, the pussy is liberated. The black woman loves the black man. She makes herself available to reproduce with her own kind out of love, peace, and harmony. She doesn't hold her black man to the standard of white supremacy. She understands the true divine essence that is black supremacy. So post-revolution, the pussy is liberated. But during the revolution, a lot of women will get raped. And the rapist, if he develop his mind just a little more, he'll see how he's really thinking like a revolutionary. If he just developed, if he takes it beyond the primitive act of trying to just get pussy for free and develop his consciousness and his logic, he can see that, wait a minute, I'm actually a revolutionary. I'm revolting against society. I'm revolting against going the way that through capitalism and going through the master to get what I want. I'm going directly to my woman. I'm not going to have my woman pimped to be by some black devil. I'm not going for that. This is part one. Rape, the black rapist is a revolutionary by default.
Video as well. Both of them was insane. But the first one I put up there just to show you that this person, just like the rest of some of these individuals in your book, all have some type of God complex, just like York. So this just to show and prove that this is not specifically targeting just York. It's many people, no matter what their race or nationality is or station in life, you'll find these individuals planted in certain parts of society causing a lot of problems. So I already gave you some background on that, but the second one, he's trying to tell you about being a rapist is being revolutionary because it's anti-imperialism and anti-capitalism. And so basically what he's saying is that instead of the person, because you can't dismantle capitalism and imperialism, that's something, it's going to take something bigger than that, and you have to replace a system when you take something out. All right, so that right there is not even a conversation to have on a macrocosm level, but on a microcosmic level, microcosm small, he's basically trying to give an excuse for being a bum and doing nothing and thinking that because you gotta work in this society and capitalism to get money to buy things and all. He's connecting up, but a rapist is not thinking about that, because that would be somebody who's dealing with business who feels like, okay, I'm gonna have to save instead of me feeling like I gotta pay to take care of a woman. Because this when you break it down, that's what it seems like. You got some men who feel like, okay, if I'm gonna have to spend money in this capitalistic society, and I got a problem with the female being at home, which is nothing wrong with that, because in most societies, the female in her rightful place is being at home taking care of things, and the man is going out, whether he's hunting or whatever the case is, that's what the job of the man is to do. Of course, we have this whole thing in moon culture where everything, the roles are switched. Women are more out there, men are more at home, all those type of things, but this is not what he's doing when you really break down the psychological aspect of it. A rapist is not thinking about this is how I'm gonna equalize, get my woman back that's been taken over by Caucasian society. He's saying that, but when you strip it all apart, a rapist is a criminal and his whole motivation is sex. Sometimes it can be the person is a rapist because they had some type of spiritual psychological problem, or they probably couldn't get women. Whatever the case is, none of that, what he's saying, makes no sense. And the fact you put a person in your book as a great teacher, when he talks about raping black women, is revolutionary. And we talk about revolutionary, whether no matter whatever the case is, especially if it's an oppressed race such as ours, you're supposed to protect the family, even if it's not yours. It's about protecting your own men, women, and children, and that's revolution on that level. Then you have to teach your own family about this. So doing that, it's basically telling you that being a rapist is right and exact. That's not being revolutionary, because if you saying you mad at the Caucasian and his society and how he going around taking things, then you being exactly like them. Those that went into people's lands and took and robbed, raped, and pillaged. That's what he's telling you. And when people teach these things, that means that somewhere within that, they're talking about themselves. That means he's a rapist. I wouldn't doubt it. Because same thing with York. He taught about incest. He talked about Inky and Lil. And if you read the Holy Tablets, it talk about how they was raping women. And that's how Inky and Lil got their first wives. They just took them and raped them. And York was, I even did an interview with Donnie, one of York's mates years ago, where when they brought her in, he raped her in front of a bunch of women. So all you got to do is listen to what these people are saying, and it will tell you this is where their mentality is at. This is the sickness that we have, and what he's done with this book is put a whole lot of black people in here that are mentally deranged and are criminals and may have done more than just taking money from black people. All right, some of them probably have harmed women and children in their rise to trying to become some type of self-appointed cult leader / black supremacist / some type of guerrilla, some type of warrior, talking all these crazy things that they're doing, and they're all sick, but they right there in front of you. All you got to do is just look. Just look into what they're saying. We all done seen these people over the years, and no one has done nothing about it. People keep holding these secrets for what? And they're allowing the abuser to continue. So that's all I wanted to put out there, is showing you that, again, you don't vet none of these people. You just snatching a bunch of black people and throwing them in the book. And people that seeing this, and probably, like I said, people like myself who seeing this, like, I'm like, these people are criminals. And we're going to go through it one by one. Truman to call peace in wartime.